Talk to him.
Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Whether the winters were left in the cold. All right, y'all. Let's move into the question of the day. The fella's been so vocal. Let's put it on us right now. What can men do to fix the marriage crisis? Let's get right into it. What can men do to fix the marriage crisis? What actionable things can we partake in that you feel like would increase, or I don't know, keep families together, or damn, off the rip, Cortez said leave. How's that gonna fix the marriage crisis, bro? Let me post the question again. What can men do to fix the marriage crisis? Meaning more people start getting married because less people are even participating in marriage. So more people start getting married again and more people stay married. So we want the marriage rate to go up and the divorce rate to go down. So what can men do? Correct me if I'm wrong. Podcast said nothing except end no fault divorce. What's no fault divorce? Educate me. Let me look that up real quick. Let's crack this code. No fault divorce definition. Let's see. No fault divorce. A no fault divorce is a legal process that allows a marriage to be dissolved without a spouse having to prove the other did anything wrong, like adultery or cruelty. Instead of assigning blame, the filing spouse merely needs to state that the marriage has broken down due to irreconcilable differences or irretrievable breakdown, a phase indicating the relationship cannot be repaired. This approach focuses on resolving issues like asset division and child custody in a less contentious manner, as no one is proven to be at fault. Joe Jett said, don't get the government contract, and then that will get the government's attention to fix it. We as men have to fix the culture, which as male leadership, and stop listening to women on how to lead. Oh, Joe, was you in the live yesterday? Male leadership for black men. That shit over with, champ.
Classic.
We already cracked that code. You must have missed the live yesterday. Yeah, Joe, we talked about that yesterday. You got to go rewatch the live from yesterday. We already figured that out. Male leadership over with. That shit over with. Is you crazy? That shit is a wrap, dog. You need permission. Souls the Thought said, what's making it a crisis? Well, I would say it's a crisis because the divorce rates are up and the marriage participation rate is down. So that means there are, and then the single family household rate is up. So all the what we would perceive to be bad numbers are high, and all the good numbers are low. And so that's why I call it a crisis. So do you not see it as a crisis with the amount of broken households we got and the amount of like single parent households or fatherless, motherless households, both? Trippy said, set a better standard for sure. Don't let that pretty face and big booty override your decision. Shit easier said than done, though. Trippy a fool, classic. Man. He said, so only numbers? Nah, the impact on society makes it a crisis. I mean, the numbers depict what we're dealing with, and then the impact on society is what it is, right? We've seen what the single parent households are doing to the kids that are growing up into these dysfunctional ass adults in a large portion of the instances. So I would consider that to be a crisis, right? We see how the family court system is dragging men all up and down the street in the way of their emotions, their finances, their time, and a whole bunch of other things. So I mean, you got the child support laws and shit like that working against some men who are active and present. So I mean, it's a crisis for sure. Souls of Thought said, I don't think it's a crisis. The negative outcomes come from the men not being good fathers. Let's talk about it. What y'all think, chat? Do y'all think men are not being good fathers, or do you think that men are not being allowed to be the fathers? What do y'all think it is? More of or most of? Do you think majority of these kids that are out here fatherless or with not even fatherless, but with co-parenting situations, do y'all feel like the majority of the people in co-parenting situations, they have a less than substantial father figure involved in the situation? Or is it a situation where the father wants to be more, but the woman is prohibiting it? And no wrong answers. We don't have any stats to substantiate this. I just want to know what y'all think based on what y'all see. Souls of Thought says you don't have to be married to play your role as a father. Too many excuses. Lisa said men aren't being allowed. I would agree. Classic. I think there are more men not being allowed to be the fathers that they would like to be to their children than there are men who are just deadbeats off rip. I totally agree with that. I totally agree. Joe Jet said, I think men are picking the wrong women. People think you have to get married instead of realizing that there's very few wives out here. I think that's what Corey Holcomb was just talking about, Joe. That's what Corey Holcomb was just talking about. And I talk about it all the time, too, as you already know, Joe. You already know I talk about it all the time. It's rare as hell. Like, you really got to go through the haystack and find your needle. You know what I mean? And that whole, like, there's somebody for everybody thing is not. It's a real competition out here. You know what I'm saying? And so you definitely got to, you know, if you're going to be in the game, you got to get in it with great intentions. And you can't be scared to get hurt out here. You got to be ready to dust yourself off and try again. If that's something that means something to you, like getting a wife and locking in and all that as a man, if you really want to find one of the gems or one of the diamonds in the rough, you got to be prepared to go on a journey that got some things in it that you may not even foresee for you. But you can win. Soft Rain said some men are not being good fathers, but I will say there are good fathers out there. You straddling the fence, April. I need you to pick a side. What you think there's more of, based on what you can see, your experience, not just your own personal experience, but what you can see around you in your web of people. Do you feel like, you know, more men are being hindered by different things from being the father that they would like to be to their children in some capacity? Or do you think there's more men that are simply just choosing not to be around or to do the bare minimum or nothing at all, simply because maybe they didn't want the child in the first place? I'm just asking for your hypothesis, what you think there's more of, because I like your response, but it's kind of in the middle, though. Souls of Thought said, y'all got it. Oh, we can agree to disagree, Souls. Don't get like that with us, brother. Classic. Don't get like that. I see where you're coming from, though. He said you don't have to be married to play your role as a father. I totally agree. But you also could be prohibited based on the court, like with the laws and the way the court system is set up. A woman could use the government against you, literally. And so I'm asking, do y'all feel like it's more of that going on? Or do you feel like men are truly, largely deadbeats? Correct me if I'm wrong, podcast said, no such thing as a good anything, but for the sake of argument, how good of a father can you truly be outside the home of your children's souls? He's talking to Souls of Thought. I would like an answer to that too. How good of a father can you truly be outside of the home of your children? He's asking Souls of Thought. Lisa said, I'm in my experience, I see more fathers in their children's lives. I agree. And then of the ones that aren't in their children's lives, do you think they're being prohibited from it, or do you think they just regular old deadbeats? Correct me if I'm wrong, podcast said question was for Soft Rain. My bad, Souls. Oh, okay. Soft Rain said there's plenty of opportunities to be a good father outside the home, be present and show up. Yeah, I mean, joint custody can work for people. You go get your kids, when you got them, make it count. You know what I'm saying? And when they not with you, you instill things in them, and you talk to them when you got them. You know what I'm saying? Instill things in them, so when they not with you, they got a foundation. They got foundational principles they can live off of. Souls of Thought said, amazing. He said you could be an amazing father outside the home. That was his answer to you. Trippy said, what percentage of women actually look at cues to see if a man will be a good father? Hell of a question. What y'all think, chat? What percentage of women actually look at? I don't think that's what, at the age most women produce their first child, and this is most, not all, obviously, but at the age most women be having their child, and this is based on what I can see. When at the age most women have their first child, especially ones who have their children out of wedlock, normally it's by a knucklehead, because they still generally at the age where they choosing bad. Women don't necessarily smarten up picking men ever in most cases. But if they are going to smarten up with picking men, it'll definitely be like later on type shit. And by then, unfortunately, some of them already got 1, 2, or a few kids already by knuckleheads. But I will say the knuckleheads do grow the fuck up. And even if they wasn't there for their baby at ages 1 through 4, you do see men mature themselves and spin the block and try to be good dads. Now, whether or not they actually are, again, allowed to, it's a different conversation. This conversation altogether is tricky, y'all. It's tricky and it's sticky. Souls of Thought said it's no different than married homes. You spend more time with your co-workers than your family. I like that. That's logical. Can't argue with a good point. Correct me if I'm wrong. Talk to him. Lisa said, you're as good as the time that you have with them. Makes sense to me. Correct me if I'm wrong. Said, that sounds bare minimal, not good. Saying you can do it doesn't say how. Souls of Thought said, okay, we got a rumble in the chat, y'all. We got a rumble in the chat.
Fighting out of the southpaw stance.
We got a
standing at 6'2".
We got a rumble in the chat, y'all.
Classic.
Do I need to drop the link, gentlemen? Is everybody okay? Do I need to drop the link? I've got very minimal time today. Got somewhere to be. Souls of Thought said, let me see. Hold on, let me catch up. My bad. Y'all feel this one. He said, I'm living proof, and those who know my situation, I should technically be at a disadvantage, but I don't do excuses. Talk your shit.
Classic.
Shit. He said he manned up. He ain't trying to hear that. He manned up. What you talking about? Correct me if I'm wrong. What you talking about? Joe Jet said they don't want a father and a healthy bloodline. They want a crip. Lisa said, utilize that time wisely and you can be an amazing father outside the home. Okay. They not with you, B.
Classic.
They not with you. They said it can be done. Souls of Thought said, Mr. McBride, let's have a conversation and not play on words. It's a serious matter. Hey, let's get ready to rumble. Trippy said, having a kid out of wedlock is already a negative cue, to be honest. So is it really more of the woman's fault or the man's? If a man marries a stripper, people say you know what you signed up for. Trippy, I got mixed emotions about this because some situations really it's overused as an excuse. I'm gonna start by saying that women overuse the excuse that they didn't know that this nigga wasn't shit when they was pregnant and having his baby. They had no idea at all. This dude was Denzel Washington level acting with it, right? He transformed into a new nigga once the baby came, or why, you know what I'm saying? Like, they'll swear that they had no idea. He was the ultimate Decepticon, right? And then with men having children out of wedlock, I would say 95% of the time is an accident. Oops. Yeah, on the man side, a lot of times he wasn't trying to make a baby with that chick. He was just trying to hit raw. He wasn't trying to make no shorty. These dudes out here having oops babies. They think they pull out game strong. You know what I'm saying? They running up in everything, bald head, and they making kids. They spreading their seed. You know what I mean? It's a reason why black women have 1 million plus more children than black men by black men. It's because they sharing baby daddies. The stats don't lie. So when you say having kids out of wedlock is already a negative cue, to be honest, you saying like if he or she meets the other person and they already have children out of wedlock, you saying that's a red flag? Like that's a negative cue? You could feel either way about that. That's preferential. So is it really more of a woman's fault or a man's? I think in every situation is different, right? It could be a situation where the man clearly should have known better. It could be a situation where the woman clearly should have known better. But I think in most of those situations that end up toxic or, tumultuous and all of that, I think most of those situations, somebody definitely should have known better. I don't ever think it. I think it's rarely a situation where it's like two people had the purest of intentions and good hearts, and both of them were great, amazing people, and they end up co-parenting, and it's like turbulent as hell. There are people out here who have great co-parenting setups. Soft Rain said, not all baby mamas are bitter either or keeping their child from the father. Mine has full access to his son and still chooses not to be there. I don't want to get too personal, but in general, I'm going to take it off of you, Soft Rain. I just want to use what you said. In general, in those situations where like the woman expresses that she's a single mother and that the father has access, he's not being limited or held back in any way, may not even be on child support at all, but he just chooses not to be there. It always makes the light bulb go off and ask the question, like, what went on between the two adults? And I don't want you to answer this, Soft Rain, because I'm not trying to get into your personal business. If you want to share it as an example, that's totally up to you, but that's not what I'm on. I'm speaking in general, though. That's the question that comes to mind. Like when a woman be like, yeah, I got a child, my baby's father don't be around whatsoever at all. I don't even have him on child support, and he just don't want to be around. The first thing that popped in my head is what happened between the two of y'all, because him not wanting to be around sometimes may not have to do with the baby, and that may not be your situation, Soft Rain. I'm just speaking in general. Correct me if I'm wrong. Podcast said, have you heard how yet? I sure haven't. How you could be a good father? Yeah, I have. Correct me if I'm wrong. You just not accepting their answer. They said that you can be a good father by way of maximizing the time that you spend. They also expressed to Souls also expressed to you that having joint custody is similar to being in the home, because regardless of the matter, you're going to spend more time working and earning to provide than you are raising your kids as a man anyway, which I thought was a great logical point. So you are getting answers, bro. You just don't like the answers you get. Soft Rain said, be present and show up. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's that simple. Yeah, they answering you. Lisa said they knew. Yeah, mostly somebody knew they shouldn't have been getting somebody pregnant. The woman either knew she shouldn't have been getting pregnant by dude, or the dude knew he shouldn't have been leaving it in, but somebody knew. Souls of Thought said a man will fight for everything else, but when it comes to the kids, it's courts, child support, the woman, on and on. Be the man, be present. Talk, Souls. Talk.
Classic.
This one near and dear to that brother heart. He not playing with y'all today. This ain't even no crash out. He trying to learn y'all something. Lisa said they just ignored the red flags because of their emotions. Now you cooking with hot grease. A lot of people out here leaving that thing in and running up in there bald headed because of how they feel at the moment. Cortez said 100. Correct me if I'm wrong, podcast. They also ain't cut from who I am. Everybody hit the like button. The like should match the amount of people in here. Let's get it. Totally free. Super chats are open, but if y'all don't want to spend no money, please just hit that like button for me, for the algorithm. I love this dialogue. Correct me if I'm wrong, said they also ain't cut from who I am. Actually marrying the mother of my children and being a full-time father every day, every hour, actively teaching and training in the most mundane of daily situations. So he's saying, so I think your argument is, correct me if I'm wrong about your argument, but you're saying you can't optimize fatherhood outside the home. You're saying what is good really, and you're saying to be a optimal father, to be a father at the highest level, you're saying you need to be in the home. I get your argument. I understand both sides of this thing. Soft Rain said, I watched mine be present for his oldest son and being a good father. Still, my child got ghosted. See, that's what I'm saying. It begs the question of what happened between the two adults. And again, not on you, but in general. That's what makes me think about that. You know what I'm saying? Cortez said, I've said it before. They all have kids with the same dudes. The numbers show us that. Souls of Thought said, show up at school, bring lunch, mail gifts, whatever you got to do. Allow your child to have the conversation when they get older. He's standing on it. Trippy said, if she has the baby and they are not married, and I'll call slight cap 9 out of 10, if the brother or father met the baby daddy, they could tell her he wasn't going to be shit. It's only her that falls for that. Yeah, the process of women bringing men around the men in their family to vet the men that they're dealing with, that's kind of old school. I think them days over with. Like getting the approval of Unc and getting the approval of Pops. Shit, half the time they don't know Pops no more. You know what I mean? Or Pops locked up or Pops gone. You know what I mean? But even if Pops is around, that process is kind of it's kind of over. It's not normal no more. Correct me if I'm wrong. Podcast said 14 years in the next month. I grew happy anniversary, dog. And I grew up in the ultimate mixed family, and you fathers, in parentheses, as well intentioned as you are, aren't being the fathers you think you are being. When I asked how, I'm asking for logistics, details, not just show up, be present. And then, correct me if I'm wrong, podcast said exactly. So you just saying, so you saying it's levels. Essentially, what y'all discussing is the levels, classic. Right? And shout out to my chat for having such a sophisticated conversation here. Souls of Thought said, working in mental health, majority of women aren't even happy with the fathers in the homes. But what would I know? They forgot you really do this to earn a living, Norris. Classic. They forgot you really do this, dog. They forgot. But I don't think either one of y'all are wrong. I think y'all making separate arguments. So what, correct me if I'm wrong, podcast is kind of saying, I'm gonna put it in my own interpretation. He's saying there's levels to being a father. If you want to be, he's saying to be a father on level 10, shit, probably level 9, you need to be in the house. That's his argument. So he's saying if you outside the house, but you doing your best, you can cap your ceiling based on what he's saying, not his words, mine. You can cap your ceiling of potential, your rating of being a good father at like a 7 or 8 because you're not in the crib. He's saying to be level 9, level 10 father, you need to be in the house. That's kind of where he at with it. And I'm just giving y'all my analysis. Souls of Thought is saying there's no excuses. If you're not in the crib, you can still be a level 10. You just got to make sure you're doing what you need to do to make that happen, whatever that looks like for you. If it's long distance, maybe you need to put budget in the side to be back and forth with your travel. If it's, if you can't be back and forth with your travel, you making sure they always feel your presence, constant video calls, sending gifts, making sure they come be with you for the summer, or maybe they come be with you for the school year. Like, I get what he's saying. Both of y'all just got to agree to disagree on this. Y'all on opposite sides of the spectrum. So as the thought said, so what type of father will you be when they go off to school? That's a great question, because that's your way of pretty much saying you're not going to always be present. At some point, they're going to part from you, and you still are a father at a distance. I get what you're saying, Souls. I get what you're saying. Classic. It's a good question. He says, so now they have to explain how they could be level 10 while not being in the home. Well, he just asked you a question to kind of get your answer to that. Well, how will you be when you're still in the home, but they aren't? How are you a level 10 father when you're still in the home, but your children have left the home? And they're still young enough for you to still be needing to provide and protect to some degree. How do you operate as level 10 when they off at university or whatever? They moved out at 18 or whatever. Like, how do you still operate as level 10 then? He wants an answer. But, man, this is a great question of the day. I'm going to have to get off of it here in a second, though, because I'm running low on time. I told y'all I got an appointment, and we still got to get to the code language. We probably aren't going to be able to get to the TikTok reaction. I didn't know this question was going to go up like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, podcast says. So now they have to, oh, yeah, you already said that. So I'm just waiting on the response. But, yeah, let me give y'all my consensus on this. What can men do to fix the marriage crisis? Because we got off in the fatherhood and all of that. But to fix the marriage crisis, I think that I think one thing we could do, and this is just me, I'm not saying that this is an ultimate fix, but it's an idea, right? I think that men need to sharpen up on their vetting. I think you just need to vet better and stop simping out. Like, just like women are saying, we've heard the Queen's panel say it on multiple panels now about how for certain parts of them to be unlocked or accessed, they want a man to show them something that makes them comfortable or safe or whatever to a degree. And I think men need to be similar in regards to making sure these women show themselves approved. You know what I'm saying? You definitely gonna need somebody to put some skin in the game before you just run off and get on this paperwork, or just, get prenups. Get you an ironclad prenup to where when shit get rough, she's not incentivized to run and get a lawyer. It makes her think a little harder, be a little more tolerant and patient, sit still for a second. When you dealing with somebody who on paper is incentivized to dip on your ass when you not meeting whatever it is that they want you to meet for a little bit, I mean, why wouldn't they go run and get the stimulus package and move on from your ass? You know what I'm saying? So it's I don't know. But to be all the way real, I'm gonna read y'all comments to finish it. But to be all the way real, I don't really feel like fixing the marriage crisis is on men. So this question was kind of loaded from the door. I'm glad that it sparked this type of conversation. But to be honest with you, I don't think fixing the marriage crisis is on men. I really don't. Correct me if I'm wrong. Podcast said daughter is leaving my house to her husband's house. Son will be close. I'm not kicking kids out after high school. Hell of an answer. Souls of Thought said, you got it, McBride. You almost on the fence of disrespect. Damn. Classic. He disrespecting? He on the fence, Souls? Souls ain't feeling it. Trippy said, hey, so me and Classic agreed in. I just said pretty face and big booty. What you mean? What you talking about? Cortez said, that's why I said leave. Men can't fix it. I don't know if leaving isn't. I just think that the fix is largely in the hands of the women. If you look at the stats, you know what I'm saying? Most of the divorces are filed by the women. So the divorce rate being high is on women statistically. So, I mean, if we just having an objective conversation, that's currently what it is. And those numbers being high also is telling about the brand of woman that we're dealing with on average today. So the truth of the matter is, with the percentage of wives walking around these streets in America of all ethnicities, with the percentage of women who are fit to be wives being a little lower these days, I think there should be less people participating in marriage. And I think that'll fix the crisis, if you will, right? Like, people that are getting married are being very selective, vetting well, and then these marriages actually end up staying and sustaining and working more so than people giving the shit a shot, giving it a try, and then it contributes to the divorce rate somehow. You know what I'm saying? I think people need to pace themselves better. I'm just trying to come up with some things that could be implemented towards a resolution. Correct me if I'm wrong, said, I'm confused, Souls. How do you figure I'm reaching disrespect exactly? That's right. You two grown men get some understanding now. You guys play nice Classic. Now. Oh, man, I wish this was a panel. Lisa said, I think it should be mandatory for people to have therapy. Hey, I'm with that shit. I'm with that. I know, correct me if I'm wrong, finna say Classic. No. But I'm with it. He doesn't believe in therapy. Soft Rain said there's tons of families that live apart due to military and or careers. That doesn't mean that the father wouldn't be rated any less. As long as he's putting in effort outside the home, then that's all that matters. Now, my take on this, right, in regards to, because Souls and Soft Rain are kind of in the same spot in regards to the father not being in the home and still being able to be optimal. Mr. McBride is on the side of you can't be a level 10 daddy unless you in the house. I'm more so in this space. I think to determine what y'all talking about, you damn near need to ask the babies. Need to talk to the kids. You damn near need to ask the kids. Cortez says psychiatry, maybe. You think motherfuckers need psychiatrists, folks? They need some medicine, gang? Lisa said, laughing at Cortez, that boy a fool, ain't he? They need some medicine trap? That's wild work. All right, y'all, look, we're going to get off the question of the day because I'm running out of fucking time, man. In regards to what men can do to fix the marriage crisis, vet more, probably reduce the amount of marriages that are being participated in and make it more of an efficient thing, right? Let's get a better shooting percentage with this thing going. And on top of that, I would say be up front in the door. Everything else, I think, is on the ladies, man. I think everything else is on the ladies. Last comment on this. I hear the therapy thing, but when do we address culture? People get therapy and still be bogus. Cortez said, at Joe, yes. Nah, people go to therapy like once or twice and still be bogus. Niggas don't be getting therapy. I ain't gonna hold you, Joe. It'd be a lot of people lying. Like if you wasn't in therapy for some months, or if you didn't go to therapy to the point where your therapist told you, I think you can scale it back to just calling me for touch-ups, you know what I'm saying? like emergency meetings or whatever. Like if you haven't gotten to the point where the therapist is telling you, I think you straight, like I think you can just call me when you need me at this point. You don't need to be coming to see me, because this should start. I know when I started therapy, I was going every week, nigga. I needed help because I was gonna hurt somebody and not myself, right? And then it went from every week to shit, just come see me every other week. And then it went from every other week to once a week. And then eventually, shit, I stopped going. But I can make the 911 appointment so I don't crash all the way out in real time. Joe laughing. Yeah, motherfuckers be lying, Joe. They be talking about, yeah, I've been to therapy before. They went to the introductory appointment on my mama and never went back. Fuck you talking about? Talking about they went to therapy before. Motherfuckers be capping.
Classic.
Lisa said, right. And then they need to learn how to shop for the right therapist. Facts. That'd be the thing, too. They'll go to one therapy session, which would be the introductory session. Maybe don't really feel the vibe with that therapist, and then don't go seek another one to try to get the right fit for themselves. It's nasty work. Process is a thing for people. People don't be wanting to go through the process. Correct me if I'm wrong, podcast. My daughter teacher just started high school. His daughter just started high school. Hello, your daughter just came to speak with me. What a doll. Thank you for raising such a respectful, kind young lady. That's what your daughter's teacher said. That's what's up. Congratulations on being a good father.
Classic.
Souls of Thought said, right, Lisa, shopping for the right therapist is just like looking for a significant other. I would say it's a little less intense, but it's definitely a process. It's definitely a process. I'm with you. Lisa said, yep, y'all making friends and shit.
Classic.
Girl power in the chat and shit, fellas. All right, hey, but that's it for the question of the day, man. That's it for the question of the day. All right, if you like what you just saw, support the channel. Make sure you subscribe, like, and jump in the comments. Talk to me so we could crack these codes. If you want to support the channel monetarily, go to my website and cop some merch, www.theclassiccodes.com. Or you can shoot me a Cash App. Either way, stick to the codes.
Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Whether